My unstoppable wisdom seekers and fearless life explorers, welcome to the Life Guidance Vault, where every insight is a key to unlocking a new path to growth, purpose, and transformation. Today, we're diving into a psychological realm few dare to explore. It's not about manipulation. It's not about games. It's about understanding, deep, raw, emotional understanding. Because the truth is, just like men, women carry hidden emotional mechanisms, subconscious triggers, weaknesses, yes, weaknesses, that even they may not be aware of. And once you, as a conscious man, begin to understand these unspoken truths, your interactions with women will evolve, not just to be more successful, but more meaningful, magnetic, and empowering. Let's begin. The power of emotional certainty. A woman's world is deeply emotional, but don't confuse that with instability. Emotions are her language, her compass, her means of connecting, deciding, feeling. But with that beautiful emotional nature comes a vulnerability, the need for emotional certainty. It's not the wild excitement or the flashy grand gestures that make her feel safe. It's consistency. It's your ability to stay grounded, especially when she isn't. When a man shows up with calm presence during emotional storms, when he doesn't crumble at the first sign of difficulty, when his emotions are not dependent on hers, something powerful happens. She begins to trust deeply. Why? Because emotional certainty tells her, no matter what happens, I won't break. You don't have to hold me up. I've got you. But the flip side is just as true. When a man is overly reactive, needy, or emotionally unstable, it triggers a survival instinct in her. She pulls away. Subconsciously, she begins to see you as the one who needs her strength rather than the other way around. If you want to stand out, don't just control your emotions, lead with them. Be the eye of the storm. Let your calm become her safety. Matt. Women are drawn to what they can't fully have. This one may sound like a cliché, but it's pure evolutionary psychology. We desire what's rare, what's slightly out of reach, what isn't guaranteed. And women, no matter how conscious or self-aware, are no exception. One of their hidden psychological weaknesses is that they are magnetically pulled toward mystery, toward the unknown, toward the man who is not entirely available. If you constantly flood her with validation, reply in seconds, rearrange your life for her every whim, you unintentionally signal that you've got nothing else going on. Now, don't misunderstand. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about actually having a life, a rhythm, and a mission that doesn't revolve around her. A man who gives a woman space to wonder is a man she can't stop thinking about. A little uncertainty isn't cruel, it's captivating, the moment. She feels like she's figured you out completely. That's when the intrigue starts to fade. So here's your edge. Stay grounded in your independence. Don't be everywhere. Let her earn access to your time and energy, and she'll value it. Tenfold, the unspoken influence of deep voice and presence. Before you even say a word, a woman has already read your energy, your body language, your voice, your presence. And here's a truth many men overlook. A deep, slow, steady voice and a centered presence are primal signals of strength. Evolution didn't design this preference randomly. A deeper voice often correlates with higher testosterone, better genetic fitness, and stronger protection instincts. Whether a woman is aware of it or not, she feels it. But it's more than vocal cords. It's how you walk into a room. Do you move with purpose or fidget like you're unsure you belong? Do you make eye contact with depth or dart your eyes nervously? A man with presence doesn't dominate with words. He communicates power through stillness, through control, through the sense that he doesn't need to prove anything. And that quiet strength, it drives women wild, not just physically but energetically. Master your presence and you won't need pickup lines. Your silence will speak for you. 4. Women can't resist a man who can walk away. Here's a hard truth that separates the boys from the men. If you can't walk away, you don't have the power. Many men crumble the moment they sense disconnection. They chase, they beg, they explain. And while this might seem romantic or devoted, what it really shows is dependence, and dependence is not attractive. You want to know what a woman's deepest fear is. Losing a man who doesn't need her, but chooses her. A man who knows his worth. A man who sets boundaries and stands by them. The ability to walk away, without malice, without drama, but with quiet resolve, is one of the strongest psychological triggers there is. When you're not afraid of losing her, she feels something she rarely feels: respect. And here's the paradox. When you show that you're willing to walk away, she's far more likely to want to stay. A man with a mission is her kryptonite. You could have the best looks, the smoothest words, and the most money. But if you lack direction, you'll still fall short, because a woman's deepest emotional craving is to feel connected to purpose, not just her own, but the purpose of the man she's with. A man on a mission, someone who wakes up every morning driven by a higher calling, is magnetic beyond measure. He doesn't chase pleasure. He doesn't seek validation. He's anchored in something bigger than approval. That energy, it's contagious and irresistible. When you're building something with your hands, your heart, or your mind, she sees that spark, and she wants to stand beside it, because it's not about you worshiping her, it's about you worshiping your path. And when you do that, you become the kind of man she wants to follow. Let's continue unveiling the truths that most people never speak about. Not because they're taboo, but because they're powerful. Hidden within everyday moments, these subtle psychological patterns shape how women connect, desire, and commit. The more you understand them, the more magnetic and grounded your presence becomes. Let's go deeper. The paradox of controlled vulnerability. It's one of the most misunderstood concepts in male-female dynamics. So many men either close off entirely, hiding their emotions behind a fortress, or they overexpose themselves in the name of authenticity. But the real power, controlled vulnerability. Here's what that means. You don't spill every insecurity hoping she'll comfort you. You don't hide everything either, pretending you're made of stone. Instead, you selectively reveal, with strength, not desperation. When a man shares a moment of truth, a past wound, or an internal struggle, but does so from a place of ownership, not victimhood, something magical happens. She sees your depth. She sees that you've lived, that you've felt pain, but didn't let it define you. And that kind of honesty, tempered by resilience, creates emotional gravity. Women don't fall for weakness. They fall for strength that's been tested, for men who've walked through fire and come out with stories instead of scars. So share, but only from your center. Not for approval, not for comfort, but as a man who owns every chapter of his life, no matter how dark. Women are programmed to test your strength. Here's a truth that most men misunderstand and take personally. At some point, she will test you. She'll question your decisions, your tone, your timing. She'll challenge your beliefs, your boundaries, your presence. And it's not because she doesn't respect you, it's because she needs to know she can, not logically, emotionally. Subconsciously, a woman's psyche is wired for security, and testing isn't sabotage. It's her way of feeling out your core, of asking silently, "Can I trust you not to fold?" Many men flinch. They argue. They try to fix it, explain themselves, or worse, bend over backward to avoid tension. But the man who passes the test is the one who doesn't even see it as a test. He simply holds his ground with calm, with truth, with kindness if needed, but with firmness always. The more you maintain your internal equilibrium, the less she needs to push. Because she senses it, your roots go deep, and the deeper your roots, the more she feels safe to bloom beside you. 8. Confidence in the face of rejection is irresistible. Let's be real. rejection stings. But here's the hidden truth. How you respond to rejection defines your attractiveness more than any feature or phrase ever could. Because when a man can hear no, see a door close, or watch interest fade, and still keep his dignity intact, that's strength. That's confidence, and women notice. There's something undeniably powerful about a man who isn't shattered by disinterest, who doesn't lash out, complain, or beg, but instead smiles, nods, and continues walking forward. That kind of energy says, I value myself. I was whole before you, and I'll be whole after you. And the irony? Often when a woman sees you respond like this, it sparks new interest, because your reaction shows her exactly what kind of man you are. You don't chase, you don't plead, you stand tall, regardless of who walks in or out of your life. Confidence after rejection isn't fake. It's rooted in the truth that no single woman defines your worth, and the man who lives that truth becomes unforgettable. Women obsess over men who are hard to read, not confusing, not inconsistent, but emotionally unreadable in a way that sparks curiosity. Let's break this down. When a man puts every emotion on the table, shares every thought, reacts to every little thing, he removes all the mystery. It's like reading a book with every twist spoiled on page 1. But when a man has layers, when he holds just enough back, not out of coldness, but because he doesn't need to overexpress, it lights a fire in the female mind. Why? Because we're wired to pursue resolution. And when she can't quite figure you out, when she's wondering what you're thinking, where your mind drifts when you go silent, what your stare really means, it creates mental and emotional obsession. Being hard to read doesn't mean you're manipulative. It means you don't hand yourself over completely. You remain composed, reflective, selective, and in that quiet space, her imagination fills in the blanks. That's where emotional attachment begins. A man who controls his desires controls everything. Let's end with the most powerful truth of all. A man who is enslaved by his impulses, his lust, his cravings, his constant need for gratification, is easily manipulated, distracted, and emotionally drained. But a man who masters his desires, he becomes dangerous in the best way, because self-control is the highest form of power. When you don't chase every woman, every pleasure, every moment of validation, you signal something primal: discipline, direction, depth. And women can feel that deeply. A man who isn't controlled by his desires becomes the man every woman wants, because his energy isn't scattered, it's concentrated. His love isn't desperate, it's selective. And his presence isn't dependent, it's sovereign. And that, my unstoppable wisdom seekers, is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. And there you have it, my unstoppable wisdom seekers. 10 hidden female weaknesses every man needs to understand. Hidden truths that unlock the deepest secrets of attraction, influence, and connection. These insights don't just give you an edge in your relationships, they transform the way you show up in the world, grounded, confident, and magnetic. Now, if you're feeling empowered by these revelations, it's time to put them into action. Start being the man who walks with purpose, who controls his emotions, who understands the deeper currents of human connection. This knowledge is power, but only when you use it. So, what are your thoughts? Did any of these points surprise you? How will you apply them in your own life? Drop a comment below and let me know. I always love hearing your thoughts and experiences. And hey, if you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the Life Guidance Vault. We're just getting started, and there's much more to explore on your journey of self-mastery and growth. Until next time, keep unlocking new paths to wisdom and transformation. Stay fearless, stay wise, and remember, you hold the key to your destiny.